Hi everyone, welcome to my video, and I hope you are doing absolutely great at your end. Today I'm going to talk about how did I get an 18-hour speaking test, and I'll also share a complete roadmap which I developed and followed during my preparation. So this is actually the part one of the video, and hopefully I'll try to cover the rest of the things in part of the video. This is actually the roadmap as I said earlier. So the roadmap starts with that first we need to understand how are the band scores are distributed, and we need to know and understand as well that what are the assessment criteria for IELTS speaking test. I mean, there are some important parameters on which the examiner will give you the band score. So you need to know it first, and then we need to know understand that what are the segments of IELTS speaking test. Right, there are different parts in our speaking test, so we need to know. So before moving on to the preparation, don't think too much, right? So before moving on to the presentation, we need to understand these three, and then we move on to the preparation. We move on to the strategies. We move on to the ways that what we could do in order to get a good score in speaking. So finally the strategy is to crack the speaking test. So first of all, as I said that how the band scores distributed, we need to understand as well. So as we know that there are three parts in our speaking test: part one, part two, and part three, and each part represents band 9. All right, so the total band score from those three parts will be 27. So 27 by those three parts will give you the overall band scores. So this is 9. So this is the highest band scores you can have. All right, so in order to have more clarification, for instance, if you get band 8 in part 1, band 6.5 in part 2, and band 7 in part 3, so your total score would be 21 and a half. So the band overall band would be 7, right? So 21 and a half divided by those three parts. So these actually the band scores are distributed. I hope you understood. Now the second part is that what are the important parameters on which you will be assessed, right? So the first one is the fluency and coherence. Second one, lexical resources, then grammatical range and accuracy, and finally the pronunciation. So each part represents a distribution, right? So out of 100, each of the four parts represents equal distributions. So your answer, if your answer complies with these four parts fully, then you will get band 9, right? If it falls short of, then your score could be reduced. Okay, so now what is fluency and coherence? What is fluency? What do we think, right? Many people think that we need to speak too fast, many people speak too slow, but what I think, what I presume, that what I did in exam, that neither you speak too fast nor too slow, right? You have to speak with a tempo and rhythm that would be soothing for the listener, I mean for the examiner, right? So examiner will understand everything and will feel good when you speak with a tempo and rhythm. So I will talk about it later on. So I actually giving you the link, that was one of the interview of the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai. So there are many more videos you can watch those as well, but I just put it one of the videos here so you can watch and the way he talks, right? So you can have an idea. Second one is the coherence, right? What is the coherence? The coherence is the relevance, right? It does mean it, relevance. So what you will say, what you will speak, right, in accordance with what you are going to be asked by the examiner. So your answer should have the relevant things, right? It should not be deviated what you are asked. Okay, so you should answer or you should speak with the appropriate thing what you will be asked. So this is the relevance. And what is the lexical resources? The lexical resources, we usually mean it the vocabulary, right? So the examiner will expect you to use very good words. It doesn't mean that you have to use the difficult or complicated words, right? There are so many words in GRE. So don't try to use it, and don't no need to use it as well. So you can use, but you can use the very good words in your sentences, right? Then it will increase your mark in the speaking. So as I write it down, that you can say for linking the sentences. I mean, if you have two paragraphs, that you can say the for instance, however, or nevertheless, moreover, in addition to, right? So also I'll talk about it later on when I will talk about the strategies. The next part is the grammatical range and accuracy. That means when you speak, when you make a sentence, that has to be with the proper grammar, right? So with the subject verb agreement, tense, verbs, narration, voice, etc. etc. Right? So the sentence has to be accurate with the proper grammar. There is no way to make a blunder with this portion. Alright? Otherwise it would reduce your mark as well. So what I can suggest, that you can read the Barron's TOEFL grammar rules. As I can remember, there are, I think, more than 250 grammar rules. I think it will do the rest. I mean, it will do the thing what you want to have. So I think you can read Barron's TOEFL grammar rules. Now the pronunciation. Many of us think that we need to follow an accent. I mean, we need to follow a particular accent, which could be the American or British, right? So why should you do it? Just be yourself, right? Just speak loudly, speak with more clarity, speak with proper grammar, speak with proper lexical resources, I mean proper words and good words, right? And speak with coherence, right? And speak with a tempo and rhythm. You don't need to follow an accent at the very first place. Just keep speaking with those, complying with those parameters. Just keep speaking. That's the thing. Now we need to know what are the segments of the IELTS speaking test. I think everybody knows it, right? So there are different parts of IELTS speaking. So the IELTS speaking test has three parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. So part 1, what part 1 comprises? Introduction and getting acquainted with you. Part 2 actually is based on a topic cue card which will be given, and you will be talk about 1 or 2 minutes based on those topics. And part 3 you will get the extended questions from the part 2, right? There will be 6 or 7 questions you'll be asked, so you have to answer this, right? So these are the three parts. So part 1 is the introduction and getting acquainted with you. Part 2 based on a topic, specific topic, so you'll be given a cue card. And part 3, the extended questions from the part 2. So there will be 7 or 8 questions, or 6 to 7 questions, it varies actually. So these are the segments of the IELTS. So what is in the part 2? I'm just giving a overview of the topics of the part 1. Alright, I'm not going to elaborate it. I'll elaborate in this strategic part. So what is in the part 2? Part 2 basically deals with the introduction and getting acquainted with you. The examiner would ask you about your work, education, family, interest, computer, TV commercial, and many more things, right? They actually start by asking your name, and then what do you do? What do you work, right? What do you prefer? What is your interest? These are the sort of questions you could be asked. This is actually the part 1. So around 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 questions you could be asked in the part 1. And what is in the part 2? As I said earlier, that the part 2 will be based on a certain topic. So you will be given a card, and that card has a specific question. For instance, suppose you could be given, or you could be asked to say about, describe a memorable journey you can remember, right? So in order to make you more comfortable, And in order to bring more easiness, the examiner will give you the hints, right? So these are actually the assistance from the examiner. The examiner will assist you by giving you these hints that you can develop the sentences based on those things that you were going to talk about. So describe a memorable journey you can remember. This, for instance, the hints in the cue card could be where did you travel, right? Whom do you travel? What did you see? Why was that memorable? So you would be given a paper and a pencil. Then you can write it down. You'll be given a 1 minute for write it down from those hints that what you're going to talk about. Right? So it will be around 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so this is actually the part two. And part three, that extended questions from the part two. I mean that journey, right? So you will have 6 or 7 questions. So that could be kind of extensive. So you have to elaborate more. You have to speak 3 or 4 sentences or 2 or 3 sentences, right, for each of the questions. So that could enhance your scores. So part three is the extended question. That means the relevant questions from the part two. All right, this is all about the part three. So this actually all about the video for the time being. So as I can say that you have to know the band scores, how the band score distributed, what are the segments of the speaking test, right, and what are the important parameters. Based on those parameters you'll be assessed, so you have to know those parameters. So the strategies to crack the speaking test I will come up later in the next video. But before that, I'm requesting you to please subscribe my channel, and I don't know if I can be any help of you, but I will feel really great if I can be any help of you, regarding providing any assistance to get you prepared enough to deal with us speaking, right? So just don't be scared. It's very easy. It's a 11 to 13 minutes in us speaking, right? You just have to keep calm and do your best, right? So those 11 to 13 minutes could change your life as well and could give you the best score that what you're expecting. So put your comments below in the comment sections, and I hope that your comments, your good comments, and what actually do you want from the speaking and for the other rest of the sections that might motivate and encourage me to something even better in the future. So have a nice day. Thank you very much.